Hello, everybody. My name is Jared Mizrak, and I did my project on Uptown Cheapskate, which is a local thrifting store here in Morgantown. My overall goals for this project personally was to just kind of dabble in the digital marketing aspect. I work for the athletic department, so I do a lot of fan engagement marketing, a lot of promotional marketing, but I don't do a whole lot of digital marketing. So I was really trying to use this class to up that side of my marketing skills. So I think that was, pretty successful. I really think that from week 1 to week 6, I feel like I grew as a quote unquote graphic designer. I feel a lot more confident trying new things. Feel a lot more confident when it comes to like making my ideas into actual things on my screen. So, I really do think that I accomplished my main goal. Outside of that, was just kind of trying to figure out the process, the idea process, because sometimes I really lack creativity, and this one really made me think when I had to be doing, you know, what was it, 9 posts a week. I was pretty good for the first 4 to 5, but I got into those last four and I didn't know what to post. So it really used that creative side of me and thinking of captions and thinking of what colors to use and all that actually going into, I guess, my original goal, like I just mentioned, of becoming a little more confident in my graphic design, digital marketing aspects. The social media strategy that I used and implemented was kind of transcending the vibe of the store, the brick and mortar store. When you go in, you see people smiling at you. They tell you good evening when you leave the store, ask if they can help with anything. Just that nice friendly vibe, bringing that to the digital marketing aspect. So on top of that, you obviously have the trends in clothing and the styles in clothing. So I really tried to put that into the digital aspect so that people could figure out what they're getting into on social media before actually entering the store itself. A couple examples of some posts that I made are here on my Instagram page. A lot of these look like they're blank. That's because I animated them. I think it looks a little bit cooler. So I did some posts, some did you know posts that were kind of about like fast fashion and really brought to light the fact that outside of giving people pretty cool clothes, Uptown Cheapskate is for the environment and is really helpful. We have, some new clothing posts, stuff like that, showing people what's in store, some sales, stuff like that. Trying to hit every aspect that people would be looking into, along with, keeping up that marketing strategy of trying to be trendy, trying to be stylish, trying to bring what you get in store. One of these where it's kind of like a Google search. That was one of my favorite ones that I created. So, there's a lot of different types of posts that I tried to do throughout this whole entire project on each of the social medias. In regards to an organization software, I did use one. It was not Hootsuite. I actually used Loomly for, I believe, the first 4 weeks while it had a free trial. I obviously did not extend it for 2 weeks as just not really in a position to do so. But for those 4 weeks, it was really helpful. It kind of gave me a way to have everything set before it needed to be out. So I was able to schedule the posts and have them ready by Monday when I made all my graphics for the whole entire week without having to go, oh my God, it's 11:50 on Friday night and I haven't posted my graphics, which quite honestly probably would have happened if it wasn't for the organization software. So it was definitely a huge help. I would never use it on any personal accounts, but if I was in charge of a business social media, it would absolutely be something that I would put some money towards, or I would really hope the company puts some money towards. In regards to, people profiles that I modeled after, took inspiration from, it was a lot of the ones that I used in the worksheet that we had to complete each week. The bigger companies that kind of kept this trendy, almost humorous approach. Now, I didn't use the humor, but it made you relate a little more. And that's what I took away from it. So, Doritos, Wendy's, Netflix, those are companies that aren't even in the same industry that Uptown Cheapskate is. But I was able to kind of figure out that not everything has to be professional. It doesn't have to be all business. You obviously want your stuff to look good, but you also want to make sure that you can relate to your consumers. And so I really took that away from them. Not necessarily the way that people would think in the stylistic approach, but in the moral of the story, I guess you could say, approach, I really took some stuff away from those bigger companies that I was looking at each one of their social medias every single week. Goals of my posts, there was a lot of them. Like I showed you, there's definitely a variety of what I was trying to post. Some informational, like store hours, like, hiring posts, stuff like that, where it is a little more business professional. But I also put out some trendy things and tried to show off some trendy seasonal, clothing that was in store. And so there was a duality with the goals in the sense that I was trying to show a couple of things sometimes a week and a couple other things that were pretty far off from the other stuff once or twice a week as well. So, I tried to make it mesh so that nobody felt like they were getting information about the business and that was it, but also, reminding people that, hey, we're a brick and mortar store. Come on in. These are our hours. Hey, you want a job? Come get a job. But there's also some really cool clothes for you to check out. In regards to tone, I kind of talked about it in the sense of my marketing strategy that I was really looking for a friendly, welcoming, but also trendy and stylish, tone. I know trendy and stylish aren't necessarily tones, but I was really trying to bring that inviting aspect into the post, making people go, "Oh, that's a really cool piece of clothing. This is a really cool post. I kind of feel like this is my vibe," and it gets them to come in. So that tone aspect was a big one for me that I tried to subtly put in, but also make it very effective at the same time. Some of the posts that, worked best for me, there were a few amongst different social media platforms. So this sneak peek of the Coal Rush, I have a black WVU shirt here. Obviously, Coal Rush is this weekend, so it's a big thing for West Virginia. Did pretty well on Twitter, all things considered, along with some of my other social medias like YouTube. LinkedIn had some big uptick on a post like this. It's like I said, it's trendy. YouTube actually was one of my better sites here, as you can see with the Welcome to October. It had 28 views. Was never expecting that. National Scarf Day, that was just something really fun that I put together, thought would be interesting. 17, just a basic one showing what brands we have, had 31. That was my most viewed post of the whole entire project. Any social media. There's that Coal Rush one, the 18 views. Then when you go to LinkedIn, these are just my impressions from this past week, but it's the same ones. It's the brands you love cheap, the Coal Rush. Um, I don't necessarily, the Welcome to October, that was also this week. So, those posts really worked well for me. And I think a big part of it is the fact that they are trendy. The Coal Rush is trendy. October's in, it's a big seasonal month. Everyone associates it with pumpkins and fall leaves and all that good stuff. And so I tried to make that work. So I think that that helped me achieve those goals of being fun, being informational at the same time, being trendy, being stylish, and really providing a fun social media for people to look at. In regards to analytics, I kind of talked about it a little bit there. Everything obviously was not insane. I was not getting thousands of views because it's pretty obvious that all of my profiles are not the actual store. I made sure that that was clear in terms of calling them promo accounts. So, I really didn't get great analytics, but the ones that, showed a little bit, the Twitter was good. I was averaging about 5 unique viewers throughout that. So that was really cool. YouTube. I don't have any on my most recent Friday, which I think is kind of weird because I don't have a single one here without views other than that. But I was getting great views on YouTube. I actually had people liking my post. This October post here has a like from outside, which I was not expecting. I did not get many likes. I don't think I have any on my Instagram. I have a couple throughout the Twitter. I had, I want to say maybe two to three throughout all my weeks of Facebook, none on Pinterest, and I want to say again, like one to two on LinkedIn, which, makes sense. I think that if this was a little more professional setting and not just for a project, I do think there'd be a lot more interaction. But that kind of leads me into my next topic that I almost thought for sure that Twitter and Instagram would be my two biggest platforms in terms of people interacting, viewership, and it actually was YouTube, which I believe I said had no real marketing value to me because I didn't see the marketing value of talking about a brick and mortar thrift store on YouTube, especially in the form of shorts like I did here. And yet it somehow garnered more views than any of my posts, and I only have, I believe it's 2 weeks worth of posts, and yet it has combined the most amount of views. So that was kind of shocking. I do truly think that if it was again a little more professional, that the Twitter and the Instagram would benefit a little bit more in that sense. But I guess it makes sense though, because I used a bunch of keywords in my titles and my quote unquote captions for YouTube, and that's how you find videos. You search them up. So it probably makes sense. I just really was not expecting it. All in all, I learned a lot about social media marketing as I talked with earlier about my goals and how I felt I did with them. I absolutely feel more confident in my social media marketing. I actually feel like I can make graphics. I feel like they're competent. I feel confident in my creative ability to actually come up with ideas, come up with captions, and make them realistic posts, ones that can actually be posted to a social media. And that's great, really, because that's why I took this class, and I feel like I've really professionally benefited from it. So I've learned a lot, and it's a lot of information that I'm not going to forget about after this class is over here this week. It's something that I'm going to take with me, possibly for the rest of my life in the profession that I'm choosing to pursue. So it's been very beneficial. I've learned a lot. It's been great for me. I really have loved this class and this whole entire project. It's been very, very hands-on and helpful. So yeah, that's my project. Like I said, it was great, really fun doing it. And yeah, thank you everybody for listening.